You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, this Saturday, April 6th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage experts, bringing into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local market and everything on money. We're here to help you succeed at a high level in today's economy. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio, first time in studio, very excited to have a conversation with Brennen Clouse with Compass. And we're going to talk about how to use video to make your business boom. Thank you so much for coming in, Brennen.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And a little bit about Brennen. He is real estate broker at Compass with a keen sense of community and an unmatched commitment for cultivating relationships and client satisfaction. Brennen is highly regarded by his clients and his peers for putting collaboration and trust first, always working to have the most up-to-date market knowledge and helping others achieve their goals with integrity.
Brennen, I love a real estate broker that knows the importance of video right out of the gate. Like, that's so important. Can you tell our listeners, why is video so important for anybody that owns a business, agents, whoever you are out there? It's important, people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not only important for agents, it's important for every small business and large business. So I thought I'd start off with a little fact and then go into a little more personal why it's important.
Nice balance.
Exactly. You got to have a balance there. So Forbes released an article earlier this year where they quoted a study by Animoto, which is a video creation service focused on small business. And they surveyed 1,500 customers and found that 46% of consumers watch more video ads on social media than they do on TV. And 73% of consumers have been impacted by a brand's social media presence when making a purchase decision.
Yeah.
So that's first a little data for you. And second of all, video is just so personal. It really is, next to voice, which we're doing now, it's the next personal thing you can do. And the other thing is it's free. So it's super important to utilize these things for your business, especially as you're trying to make it boom, because it's free, it's personal, and consumers are moving more towards video every day.
Yeah, and just, think the last time if you were on video, and we do a lot of video, and I love it, if you walk into a room and you had something really important happen and they weren't there, but they're running up to you with a big smile to congratulate you, and it's because they saw on video. So just think about when you're watching somebody on video, how does that make you feel? Are you connecting them with them at a higher level? And the answer, of course, is yes. So now take it back to yourself, and wouldn't you want to provide that for people that want to get to know you?
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So, Brennen, what do you do if you're deadly afraid to be on camera and worse, on video?
Yeah, that's a good question, Tina. I hear that a lot from people who haven't started with video yet. I think my first piece of advice is to start behind the camera. So just because you're doing video doesn't mean that you have to be on the video. So start behind the camera, take scenes of what you're doing in your business.
Like Victoria's taking a video of you right now.
Exactly. Yeah. That was actually going to be my next thing is if you're afraid, have someone else do it for you and don't let them tell you when they're going to start recording you. And then you'll never really know it's happening. So I would say start behind the camera. That makes you a little bit more comfortable, and then you can move into being on camera, or you can just narrate or have someone do it for you and not let you know when it's happening.
Yeah, and also a tip too, I would say everything, people talk about procrastination, and it's such an easy solution not to procrastinate, is make a commitment to somebody that's really, really important, not somebody that's close to you but has high influence on your field, and make a commitment you're going to do something. So make a commitment to them that you're going to get on video, and then procrastination is no longer an issue because you're not going to let that person down, right?
Exactly.
The old accountability partner.
Exactly.
Or you can know Tina, and then she just throws you in the game, like, do it now, like the same day. You're going to be on the radio
You're thinking
today,
back
Keelan.
of the first time.
Yeah. Today you're going to be on the radio. You've never done it before, but guess what? Today you're going to be there. She's like, I'll figure it out.
No warning.
Fine. No warning.
No time to be scared.
Yeah. I had about 7 seconds to decide what I was going to do. So it worked, though. Here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am.
Rocking it.
So, what can we do to take video to the next level? Like, how do we boom our business with this video?
Absolutely. That's a really good question. So it's all about finding the things that make people stop scrolling on social media. So you want them to stop and look at your video for a while. One of the number one ways to do that is actually to add captions to your video. So there are a lot of services out there like rev.com, R-E-V, and they'll caption your entire video for you and send you a file of the text. So putting that over your video, it's we call it a thumb stopper. So they stop scrolling with their thumb and stop and watch your video. That's one of the best ways. Another way is to actually get feedback from your audience. So ask them to comment on which portion they liked the best. And then you can clip that video just to be that portion and recreate and repost that.
Yeah, great ideas. So let's talk about views, because everybody really, you just kind of look at those views like you're waiting to see if another one's going to come in. And so how do you engage to get more views on your videos?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, I think the first step is choosing the platforms that you post on. So it's really important to post on the platforms that you're already active on and where you can be most responsive on. So you really want to make sure that if people are liking or commenting, that you're responding to those, especially comments. You want to comment back. And then
Not just like their comment, but comment back.
Yep.
Yes.
You want to comment back because that helps in the algorithm, which leads to the next part of that answer, which is you have to follow the algorithms of each social media platform because they're always changing. So you want to find the algorithms that favor video the most and post on those platforms.
So is there a place to go to keep up to date on what's happening with algorithms and how you can actually maximize that? Or you just got to talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about?
Talk to someone, do a little Google search, go to Facebook, see what they're saying about it. There's all sorts of news sources that talk about when algorithms change. So you can definitely just do a little Google search and find that.
So, Brennen, I got a question. I've heard many times, I don't have time for video. It takes too long, editing, blah, blah, blah. So what if you don't have time to make all the edits to make your videos look, quote unquote, you can't see me, professional? Because then they don't want to post it, right? It's not professional enough.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question. Back to that procrastination thing. It's another way to make yourself procrastinate. But if people don't have time to edit a video, I often tell them, well, then don't edit it. We're moving into a world that's more authentic, where people want to see what you're doing, even if you don't think it's polished and professional. They want to see all of it. So don't edit it. But also there are a ton of apps, if you have an iPhone or even on Android, where they'll edit it or put photos over your video for you in a nice and pretty way so that people can enjoy it. So either be authentic or find an app that does it for free and quickly for you.
Yeah, get on and do a Facebook Live. We had a guest a few shows ago that does a video class, and what he does is everybody that shows up, they have to do a live Facebook right there and post it. So,
that's what we're moving towards. Everyone wants to see just authentic content.
Yes. So, Brennen, where should you be posting, and how often should you be posting videos?
Yep, good question. So back to that previous question about post on the platforms that are most relevant to you and that you spend the most time on. But just as a general guideline, I think that Instagram, you should be posting something as often as you can. Because
like often meaning once a day?
Once a day or more. There are a lot of people, especially if you have multiple pieces of video content, that will post multiple times a day on Instagram. Facebook, same thing, but a little less than Instagram. So maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Right now, LinkedIn is really favoring video. So every time you post a video on LinkedIn, you're most likely to be at the top of the feed because they favor that video so much. So I have a lot of people who are like, you're always at the top of my LinkedIn feed. And I'm like, great.
Go figure. Wink, wink.
And then obviously YouTube and Vimeo are really important platforms to be a part of as well.
Yeah, well, geez, we've got to start posting our videos on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we're sloughing. That's kind of like the one that gets left out. It's like the redheaded stepchild.
I know. Victoria's over there whispering. I'm not sure exactly what she's saying. What?
I was just thinking.
Oh, she was just thinking that. Yeah, it's so great having these guests in here because we learn stuff every single week and how to have better lives and better business. And so I love that. Oh, it's your time to ask a question,
It is my
Keelan.
turn, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Brennen, give us some good video ideas, especially for small businesses and such. What kind of content should we put out there?
Yeah, absolutely. So for small businesses, I always encourage people to ask someone who's not a part of their field what questions they have. And just videos that are simple as answering one of those questions are really great video ideas, because if they don't know the answer, it's likely that a lot of people don't know the answer. But aside from that, you can do videos like a day in the life, what you're doing. This is sort of an Instagram story style video where you're just following yourself and what are you doing that day. You can profile your team members if you have any team members. Think of things that really make it personal. So tell a personal story about what you're working on, what you just went through last week in the office, those sorts of things. And then I always encourage people to think about what content can they reuse. So especially if you're spending money on video, try to think of things that you can reuse, whether you clip that up and do a mishmash of different things. Find something that you know you'll be able to reuse in the future or that people can learn from. So can you send it to a future customer and they'll be able to learn from it? Think about some of those reusable aspects of video.
Brennen, I'm stealing this one from you, Tina. We need to do a radio day of us from start to finish coming into studio. Brennan's full of great ideas.
That would be a good one.
That would be a good one, right?
Yeah,
he has to start when you wake up and like what you look like before.
Oh gosh, no. Definitely did not want to see me this morning. That's a whole nother conversation in another show.
It's got to be authentic, though.
It's got to be. It's got to be authentic. Wow. So, and I love the spirit of one-timing, which is my coaching program that I do for real estate professionals. 15 clock hours, by the way. So if you're listening, it's a great way to take your time management, business efficiency to the highest level possible so you can live the life that you want to live. But in the spirit of one-timing, being able to have multiple purposes for that video, I really, really love that. If a client has a question, most likely that question's not a one-off, but instead it's the same question multiple clients are going to have. So get on video, do your live feed and say, hey, I just had a great question from a client. And I'm sure some of you that are following me have the same question. Here's the answer. And then put it in all your platforms. Love that. So as we're wrapping up our time here, Brennen, with you, let's talk a little bit. I love, you're obviously a teacher without a doubt, and you're a giver without a doubt because you actually sell real estate. That's what you do. And you came and chose here today to share with our listeners the importance of being on video. And I haven't heard you mention one time about your business. I want to give a shout out and thank you for that, Brennen.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Of course. So, but let's talk about your business and what video has been able to do for you to take you to the success that you have reached.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that shout out.
You're welcome.
So I boast an educational series once a week that we just started this year. And while you can track, obviously, views on social media and see what people are liking it or commenting about it, almost every time I see someone that I haven't seen in a while in person, they'll tell me that they've seen my most recent video and that they love my video. And I actually have a funny story because my parents are visiting from Kansas, and my most recent listing video was the topic of conversation at the dinner table on Sunday, which I had no idea it was.
Oh my gosh.
So even though you may not see the impact right away or immediately in those counters that social media has, you'll most likely feel it when you see people in person, and when you need topics of conversation to relate to each other, they'll bring it back up. So don't fret if you don't see high view count. You're getting your word out there, even though people might not like or comment on it right away.
Yeah, and just how exciting for people to get to know who you are before they even have a chance to meet you, and a lot of times before they even have a chance to talk with you. So I love it. Brennen, thank you again so much for coming in and joining us for studio. Definitely look forward to having you come back, and we'll have you talk a little bit about real estate.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And this is your host, Tina Mitchell, signing off for the day.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage experts. And we're going to be here same time, same place, next Saturday, right here at 11:50 a.m. KKNW. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.